Knowledge excellence provides a systematic approach to workforce development and sustainable process improvement. The app includes training, skills management, and continuous improvement. Let's take a look. So here in the knowledge section of the system, we can easily handle employee training and skill development. Now, the foundation of this is in the learning activities section here. So here you can see where you can build new learning activities for your employees. Let's look at some examples. For example, this labeler job shadowing learning activity. I can click in here and edit the content of this learning activity. So here we see the introduction, the outline, the different tasks that need to be taking place to complete this learning activity. It's like a class of sorts. You give it a title, a general description, and select a location that is relevant to. You can require a start and end time if the operators need to register when they started and ended this training, and you can set a validity period if this training does need to be repeated at a certain interval. So these are the individual learning activities in terms of how an employee learns an individual smaller thing. However, when these combine together, they form skills. So moving to the skills page here, we can see these different skills that we've had. So to be able to operate the filler, to be able to operate the capper, general safety. If we select any of these, for example, the labeler again, if I click in here, I can see the learning activities that build this skill. So a skill is a combination of learning activities that when combined means that you are certified internally in having this skill. And that's important to know in terms of, just tracking if you have the right people on the right shift, that all of the necessary skills are covered. And to do that, to better understand if we have the necessary skills on shift, we can come to the skill matrix page here, which is quite an exciting development because we can suddenly start to see our workforce and understand what are they trained in. This information is typically paper-based, if even paper-based at all. It's kind of just understood that maybe this person is trained in such and such an area. Whereas now we can start to document that digitally and really understand, okay, Sam here is qualified in all of these things. However, Anders here is new, likely. So we can see here that the green check means that they are finished in that skill. They have gone through the skills process. The outline in green here means that they are enrolled to learn this skill, but they still haven't completed it. So if I come here to capper and I want Anders to be certified on the capper, I can click on the plus and then I can enroll him. And you can see here the learning activities that they're going to be involved in that. So I can click enroll. And now Anders is enrolled in the CAP course and he will be able to see that then the learning activities he needs to do in order to achieve that skill. Knowledge excellence also contains various continuous improvement tools. Let's take a look at action plans as an example. So if I come to the analytics page here and I go into loss during operation and I'm investigating what have been the biggest issues on our line in the last 48 hours, and I notice there's been an unusually high amount of product jam. So I'll click into this here. And I will say, okay, this is an issue and we need to do something about it. So I will click on actions and say create an action plan. That is going to bring you to this input page where you are essentially following a PDCA framework to create an issue around this thing that you're seeing. So you go through and you'll be able to put in what you think the cause is, what you've done to contain it so far, what you think the countermeasure is and who is responsible for it, and then you'll be able to manage that within the system. Now, and as you can see here, because we've generated this from this page, we've linked this bit of data to this issue. So, this is moving away from whiteboard PDCA where you can't actually link any data to it really, unless you print out your pages and stick them up. So, it's really digitalizing this whole process so that you can then start to link data and work with these PDCA things much more effectively. So let's actually take a look at how these PDCA plans look once they're built. So if I come over here and I click on action plans, I can see some examples of some action plans that have already been generated. So here is just a list and you can prioritize them. You'll see what category they are and where on the PDCA process how far along they are. So let's look at this jam issue as an example. I can see the title, the category, the concern that the person who generated the issue had, the cause that they think it is, the containment they've currently taken so far, and their proposed countermeasure. You can also create tasks where you can say, okay, I need to get approval to try lowering the line speed. You can then tick off these tasks as they go. And this is all stored here and maintained. It's not like a whiteboard that's going to get rubbed off. You can really have this stored for a long time. You can click where you are at the PDCA process, create a due date, assign somebody to this task. So if you assign a certain production manager or maintenance technician, they will get an email saying that they have been assigned to such and such an action plan. And as I mentioned earlier, you can attach files, Factbird data, and have this as a one-stop shop for dealing with this issue. So that instead of having various sources, this is one source of truth on how far along we are with this issue, which really helps drive continuous improvement in your site.